And now it's time for a podcast with Keld Beyond. Keep dreaming, my friend. Keep dreaming.
Welcome to Keep Dreaming, a podcast about dreams, the video game and creation engine for PlayStation and the community that brings it to life. And I have a rather large chunk of that community on stream today that you should have seen already, and you will now hear. There we go. The gates are open. All right, so I am your host, Keld Beyond, and we're broadcasting live from my Twitch page on Sunday, November 28th. And my panel of guests here today is going to discuss the Impy Awards with me, past, present, future. And these guests include, I'm going to go top left, left to right from top to bottom. We've got Cutaia in the top left there. He's got it. He's got his name ready. Danikaka, MC Alchemist 42. Hey, why don't you each say hello? That would be good. Let's get that out of the way. Cutaia, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Keld?
Wonderful, thank you. Danikaka next to him. How's it going, Danny?
Doing great, Keld. What about you?
Not so great. I've been better. MC Alchemist 42. How are you doing there?
Doing lovely. It's a fantastic fall day out here.
Oh, you're not going to ask me how I am?
Oh, I already know you're doing great.
Oh, okay. You just picked the one you liked. I like that. We've got profmiloarty. How's it going there?
Hello. This is the best day of my life.
Oh my goodness. Suddenly it feels like the best day of my life too. I am doing exceedingly well. Thank you very much for asking. Right in the middle of our Brady Bunch square here is NotreDamin. What's up, Noter?
Hi. I'm doing pretty good. Kind of.
Noter's
condition going on.
He's crutching a little today. He may have let us know. Pierogiboi, just to the right of Noter. How's it going, Pierogi?
Hello. How are you, Keld?
You know, I don't know. I got this podcast thing to do. It's kind of dumb, but I'm here. Let's make the most of it. Down in the bottom left there, SakkusMind. Sakku, lovely to have you.
Hello. Nice to be here. How are you doing?
Terrible. Just absolutely terrible. I'm really up and down today. That's the thing. I'm doing inconsistently well. And next to Sakku, we have Zelly Beans. How's it going there, Zelly Beans?
Hello.
Also known
How's
as
the baby?
Sulky Tardigrade. Oh, how's the baby? Mixing it up. The baby is great. The baby is great. We had, she was actually really good. I would be doing much worse today if she hadn't been so good last night. Like sometimes she is going till like 3 a.m. She kind of calmed down at 1 yesterday and gave me a couple hours to get all my podcast stuff finished up. And I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, a very considerate child.
She's pretty considerate for a baby, I gotta say. Yeah, so I think we're gonna keep her.
Huh.
So
you got it, yeah, you're still in the window, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think what is it like?
90-day window.
90 days. Yeah.
90 days. Yeah, it's like a
Is
probationary.
that the return policy? Yeah.
There's a restocking fee though. You have to pay 15%. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's nice to have okayed insurance because 15% of what it costs to have a baby, still a ton of money.
If you get the extended warranty, then you can like exchange it for any reason. You just have to say it's broken or something.
Yeah.
I never buy the warranty.
For 17 years at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have. That's my mistake. I really should have gone for the warranty on that. So we are here today. I have assembled all these beautiful dreamers here today to talk about the Impy Awards. And let's see. Just to give a little background for anyone who's not aware, if you're newer to the Dreams community, the Impy Awards have been taking place for this will be the third year now, and they started while Dreams was still in early access. So Dreams launched in April of 2019, and by I think it was December that year of 2019, they opened up nominations for something called the Impy Awards, and so the way it worked was there was a nomination process that was like in a web form. You would go and nominate someone in 21 different categories. You could nominate a person or a creation depending on what it was, and then they had a big awards ceremony. That first year was crazy because they had crazy compared to COVID times that we are living in now, because they had all the molecules at the office. Everyone came and dressed up, and they talked to people on camera. It was hosted by Miss Kitty Powers. It was a blast, and it was just a crazy surprise to see this big event put together when Dreams hadn't even been live for a year. So fast forward to year 2, it's pandemic time, and so it was remote, and to me, like the feeling was, it felt really good. It felt like I was getting together with people and having an event, at a time when there wasn't a lot of that happening. So it was a very different tone, but yeah, similar event, kind of same process, and now we're down to year 3, third annual Impy Awards. And the nomination process started maybe a week ago. Maybe it was early last week, and that has been a point of contention, a topic of conversation in the community this week, and we're definitely going to get into that. But I thought, but before we get all fired up, before we start yelling and throwing things at each other. I thought, why don't we start positive and talk about some things that we've loved about the past Impy Awards. And if anyone in chat has any questions as we're going through here, I'm going to try and keep up with chat. Feel free to the guests. If you see anything in chat you want to address, feel free to jump in and take it there. So let's see. Can I just, how about I just single someone out here? How about MC Alchemist? MC Alchemist.
Something I love about the Impies is specifically seeing someone who you really think deserves an award win it. Like, that's so satisfying. You just want them to be rewarded for their hard work and all the passion they poured into a project. That is, even for someone who's never won an Impy, that's just incredibly rewarding to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how that feels, but I'm sorry, that was bad. To not win an Impy. No, I do know.
Later, Keld.
There are Impies I have not won. Look out. Lena's here. She's got opinions. I have to engage Lena mode. This is why, if you're listening to the audio only, you need to get over to YouTube to watch the VOD or catch it live on Twitch, so you can catch the kitty action on the screen. MC, that is the Impies have been a great opportunity to celebrate the community, to celebrate one another's creations when in sort of a formalized way. Who else has got something? Who wants to jump in?
I really like that it shows a lot of creations that you might have missed throughout the year. So going through the short list, maybe last year, about 80% of the creations I had no idea they were created. And it was cool going through all of them and giving them the appreciation that they deserve.
Yeah, I agree completely. I feel like both years I have, and I see a lot of what's going on in Dreams. I see a lot of it, but I think it's exposed me to a lot of things kind of outside my circle of awareness. It's definitely made me aware of creators that that I didn't know were out there creating amazing things beforehand. Who else has got something nice to say about their Impy experiences of the past?
So go ahead. Ladies first.
Thank you. I like that it brought the whole community together, because there were those like after party type things, just like Discords and such. So people who weren't necessarily out there streaming or getting Impies, could participate. It was sort of it created a time period in which everyone knew that less engaged dreamers would be engaged again, and that the very engaged dreamers would probably all be there. So it was kind of like a big online party, and anyone who wanted could make one of those red carpet scenes. So that was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was fun last year. Was that an official thing? I don't remember how that came about.
I think it was. I don't
remember. They put out like a collection of like cool Impies assets, and then kind of, I think they just left it to us, and we did our thing.
People just
they put them in playlists and stuff and promoted them.
Yeah, that was great. They released a collection of Impies like award show assets, and a lot of people made themselves or their characters showing up on the probably pink carpet at the Impies. And it was, that was a fun way to get involved. I made one myself that year. Also, to Zelly Bean's point, I think another positive effect it has is Dreams. I think Dreams is pretty sticky with creators. I think a lot of creators tend to stick around, but some people come and go. I mean, I think any community's like that. And I do feel like when the Impy Awards, when the nomination process starts and kind of all the way through to the awards show, same as Dreamscom, I feel like those are both really good opportunities where you get to see a lot of people kind of stop back in and go, oh, hey, I've been away, but yeah, I wanted to come and see what was happening right now, which I like very much. Oh, what else you got? Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, I wasn't around for the first Impies. I bought Dreams on release, but I did catch the video, and I thought, like you said, that was a really cool thing to see all the molecules in Kitty Powers hosting and everybody getting together. It was a really fun thing. But last year I got to participate, and I think, there was so much to like about it. Right? It got everybody together. You were lifting up your fellow community members. People were reaching out to me, and I was reaching out to people. I nominated you, and it was really just it brought everyone together in a way that I hadn't seen before. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Absolutely. One thing that I've enjoyed also is, I believe both for both years. Yeah. No, the first year, okay. For both years, I've done like an Impy after party stream, and I gotta say that has been one of the most fun streams of the entire year for me, just to help carry that energy over. I mean, when something big like that ends, when the Impy Awards stream is over, there's sort of it's the party, like it's such a hard stop. The party's over, and I feel like I've really enjoyed being able to help try and continue that vibe for everyone celebrating, from their own homes. Last year, April, Apes on Fire and Mr. Casey Jones did a pre-show, and I suspect this year there will be even more people getting involved in doing streams, and I hope you do. You want to have your own after party? Have an after party. I do not have the monopoly on after parties. Haven't copyrighted the after party. Considering it, but no, the more the merrier. That's been a blast. I think the first year I did, it was pretty impromptu, and I think I ended up playing some Mrs. Biones played Pig Detective 2, I think. for the first Impy's after party stream. And it was pre-COVID, and I had a friend here playing some music. Wow, okay, this is all coming back to me now. I'd kind of forgotten about this. I had a friend of mine come and play guitar and sing a couple songs, and Mrs. Biones played some Pig Detective, and it was big and sloppy and fun, and then then the following year, I got super ambitious, and I basically reached out to, here, this will be a good segue into talking about the nomination process this year, because I have a lot of empathy for the people whoever's job it is at MM to corral all the dreamers and to contact all the people and the Impy Award nominees and winners and just making all that stuff happen. Because last year I personally contacted every single Impy nominee, and that's just like the people who are on the actual short list. So it would have been over 100 people, I believe. And that was no small task. That was a big old job. And by the time the event showed up, I wasn't sure how I was going to, I knew we could have like a big party chat where everyone could just kind of talk and I could cut away to that. But I ended up doing a process where you came to the stream and you would use channel points on the stream to summon a dreamer to the interview booth, right? So we'd sort of like filter people into the interview booth, and then they would filter out, and it worked. But I ended up this is my chance to address this publicly, on the record. I ended up feeling really bad about people who showed up and that I did not get to talk to on the stream, because I know there were a bunch of people that showed up to that, and I hope they had fun in the party chat, just hanging out with other dreamers and stuff, because I don't even know, whatever was happening in there, they had their own story probably for those 2 or 3 hours. But
I kind of try to take that as my own duty as a viewer and friend of the show, right? That I was in chat and I'm like, summon this person,
Yeah.
and I ran out of channel points. And I was shouting out to other people in chat, like, here, summon this person, because I wanted to see the same. I wanted to see everybody get involved.
And I think maybe it was I thought it was just a barrier to make sure it wasn't too fast, but I think maybe it was priced a little high. And then the other thing I felt bad about was that it meant that the people in chat that had power were all just people who were here all the time. So if you were new and you showed up and you don't have channel points, you didn't have the ability to summon someone into the booth. So let me just take advantage of this focus group in front of me and ask if anyone's got any suggestions or feedback for, I don't know, something for what to do with year 3. I haven't decided yet. Now, Cutaia's got some plans.
I got ideas for you, Keld.
I'm pretty sure his suggestion is going to involve getting on a plane, and we are tempted. We have been talking. Well, I mean, what if we could? Do you think we?
What if?
I don't. Cutaia, can you tell us what your plans are for the Impy Awards this year? Well, whatever you want to say. I mean, I wouldn't bring it up except you've teased it publicly.
Yeah, we're in the process of gathering dreamers. We've actually rented out a really cool place in Vegas. And so far we've got a few confirmed people who are flying out and staying with us for a couple of days and partying, and Danny's coming. And,
you guys should ET, across the frames there. Oh, other way, Danny.
Oh.
Oh, mine is in.
Oh.
Or you can fist bump. I don't know, whatever you want.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, you want me to hold? All right.
I mean, I see it as connected on my computer at least.
It
I
works.
live in Vegas now.
You
So,
do?
I
Oh,
do.
Well, there you go. I know there's
just
a
moved,
couple
yeah.
people who live in Vegas. So
Dreamers? I
boy.
don't know any dreamers in Vegas yet. I'm gonna learn.
There are quite a few near there. I'm actually traveling to Vegas in January. I may make 2 trips to Vegas to meet dreamers. Both meet dreamers, but yeah, January I'm meeting a bunch of people there. So pretty cool.
well, feel free to do it in February too.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'll get in touch with you. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. I don't know what to expect, but it should be a good time. I mean, last year, that since you were asking about like favorite Impy memories, my favorite Impy memory was our after party stream, the competing stream. We had Ben over and we just had a good old time. We just like went in the basement and had a little jam session, and we're gonna try and like bring all the instruments over to Vegas and see if we can make it a tradition and just go nuts.
Are you driving? I mean, you're not that far from Vegas, are you?
Yeah, it's like a 12-hour drive.
Oh, is it really?
Like Ben's gonna come with us on the road trip to get down there. So
nice. Yeah, I think Cutaia's situation where he had Ven over was like, for me, a really cool experience because it's the first time I was seeing 2 dreamers together that I got to know and in the same place in the flesh. That was really cool.
It's crazy that that's still so rare. I mean, it's just such a messed up couple of years. Like the fact that that's such a thing. Like, oh my goodness, I saw these humans. They were interacting.
Real life dreamers.
Oh. Cutaia, do you remember? Do you remember when we touched streams?
So that's, and I was like, I was gonna ask.
We crossed the streams.
Never crossed the streams.
I was never really sure, like after the fact, if we were supposed to like go into your stream at that, because then I realized that there was the whole like channel point thing that you were talking about earlier, and I was never sure if we just like invaded your stream or not, because like we had been we had opened champagne up for the MPs and we were having a good old time, and like I wasn't sure if we were even supposed to be there.
I don't even remember, but I do remember it was a welcome intrusion. You had I mean, the vibe across these 2 streams could not have been more different. Cutaia was in the basement with a bunch of instruments, and they were all wearing. How would you describe your garb that day?
It was a panda onesie.
Yeah, Cutaia had a panda onesie on. And yeah, and they're just improvising, right? I mean, just improvising with a bunch of guitars and drums and stuff and keyboard. And then,
if you're looking for any suggestions for like an after party show, I'd just say like figure out a way to get new people involved. Like if somebody you don't recognize is in chat, or like maybe call out any new dreamers, because I feel like another great thing about the MPs is just exposure in general. Like they get all those like guest judges. Like there's a whole bunch of people watching the stream that probably might not be dreamers. Yeah, and I know like your first after party was my first exposure to the dreams like community, the dreams like Twitch scene. Like I had never watched a Twitch stream other than Media Molecule before that night. So
that's cool.
I bet there's plenty of other people like me in that situation.
It's tough. Like the circle of people in this, I feel like the circle of people around me is so large at this point that that I have to check myself occasionally and try to think about how to reach people who are outside that circle. I would like to have more people on this show from outside, like the immediate circle of people that I know well. Like most of the people that I feel like are in that circle for me are people who stream dreams on Twitch, or people who hang out in dream streams on Twitch. Like I've just been so immersed in this world, in this part. I said inner circle. I've been so immersed in this part of the community for so long that I know it colors my view, and definitely something I think about. Duckonomics says someone should make an Oregon Trail-like game where Cutaia drives to Vegas and picks up different dreamers, and you try to avoid getting dysentery.
We're definitely getting dysentery in Vegas.
I was going to ask, what are the chances? What are the chances of getting dysentery? Twitcher the Game Cat asked, what even are channel points? No idea how to redeem them. And yet, Twitcher redeemed highlight my message with channel points to highlight that message. So I'm not sure if that's a joke or not. But for anyone not aware, the channel points we're talking about are a thing built into Twitch where just for watching a stream, or I think you get bonus points for following, and there's a few different ways. But basically, they're just points you accumulate per individual Twitch channel while you're watching that channel. And then the streamer can set it up to use them to trigger whatever you want. I mean, you could, a lot of people have a hydrate, like, make the streamer drink some water, stuff like that. But that is channel points. So
this may be a little bit of a big ask or a big suggestion, but something that I thought would be really cool, and it doesn't have to be for the Impies, but it may be cool for the after show, would be like a live performance of a song that was made in Dreams, maybe by somebody that was nominated. It could be pre-recorded and you could cut to it, or it could be something that's done live there. But I think that would be really cool for somebody that does music in their day-to-day, somebody like Cutaia or Sauceless, Venwave, Masher Buttons. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to see something like that, even like the Dreams Fest group, something like that where you see some live performances from Dreamers. I think that'd be really cool.
Totally stealing that. That's a great idea.
Please do. Please do.
I think karaoke would be cool.
Whoa. Dreams karaoke.
Yeah.
I think Cutaia needs that for his after party. Yeah. How hard is it to do custom karaoke? Well, you could make it in Dreams. I answer that question before I even
have it
finished.
in Dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting, though. Yeah. Get in a karaoke format.
Dreamer karaoke.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to have something before the show to hype it up, to have something to look forward to get excited for the show. I think looking forward to something is always a big part of the joy.
Yeah.
For sure. Miss Yaiko, I've said it before, we need a karaoke machine in Dreams.
Let's get it done.
Improv live performance. I had considered, the thing I wanted to do for both years, and I just didn't get around to because I was busy putting other stuff together, was I really wanted to perform a couple songs, like a couple of my favorite songs from Dreams on the show. But then, it always ends up the day before, and I'm like, okay, I don't have time for this part. That would be really fun though. But Noter, I'm totally gonna farm it out. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome. Just to see the people that you get to know throughout the years, or the year that you've known in Dreams, and that have put out some awesome stuff, and just see them in the flesh. Not because we're watching the screen, but you get it.
In the digital flesh.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds dirty or something. All right. Well, feel free to jump in to turn the conversation. Feel free to go back to something you love about the Impies, but let's get into the meaty part of the sandwich here, and talk about this year's nomination process. So, previous years, it was, I think they used. Did they use SurveyMonkey for the nominations as well as the voting? Does anyone remember?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I don't know about the nominate. I know they did it for the voting for sure.
I thought there was an In Dreams page for nominations.
Was there? Did they do nominations in Dreams last year? Well, in either case, the way it worked is you could nominate any person or creation for an award, and there was a 2-week period where the nominations were open. A lot of people on Twitch, a lot of streamers of Dreams had dedicated entire streams to let's go through the nominees and see who we should pick. My personal experience, I think I did that for one of the years. My personal experience with the nomination process is I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy talking with other people about the creations, that were released that year, remembering things that that you had forgotten about from earlier in the year. And I would say I also found it stressful because anytime you ask me to narrow a bunch of stuff down to one thing, my brain wants to implode. Like I'm bad at those decisions. And looking at this list of, I think both years, I put it off actually nominating people until like the last possible minute. So I found the process to be like, there's a part of it for me that's unpleasant, which is just making a decision. But everything else around and leading up to it was all really positive. I watched a lot of people's streams when they were going through discussing, who did the best animation this year, who made the best music this year. Sorry, I'm reading chat here. Chat started to move. When we got to nominations, chat starts cruising. And yeah, and so basically that's how it worked. And then, a month later, sometime probably in January, MM would come out with the short list, the actual nominees. And this year, this year it is working differently. So I think the explanations from people at MM have been, one molecule described the previous process as, quote, a logistical nightmare, which is very believable. Like that sounds like a massive, massive undertaking. And just as a person who has experience just contacting 100 people to try and, corral them and get them in one place at one time, I understand that, I understand that could be a very trying process. Boy, I've got the like 10 things in my head at once going. So the process this year has switched over. Now I think someone's already made the point in chat. I think I saw Pixel Gorilla make this point first, which is, I didn't explain. I'm sorry. I'm really stumbling here. I didn't explain what it is. Basically, the process this year is self-nomination. So instead of being able to nominate anyone, and then Media Molecule has to go and contact contact the potential nominees and get their permission and their consent to be included in the award show, etc. Instead of that, you have to nominate yourself, and you have to nominate yourself for in specific categories. So a lot of people have been unhappy about this, and I think one of the points that I thought was really well made was, like I said, Pixel Gorilla said it before. Someone else in chat said it a couple minutes ago. Self-nomination is a bad way to put it. I don't think the situation wouldn't necessarily be more palatable to people, but I think it would come across better as a submission process, or because you're really not nominating yourself. You're really submitting yourself to the nomination process. And I think just the verbiage of saying I'm nominating myself for an award sounds crummy. Like it doesn't sit comfortably on the tongue. All right, I've stumbled through this setup. Who's got something else to say?
I think they have adjusted the wording on the website.
Did they change that?
To like a submission. Yeah, they did adapt that.
It seemed like they clarified some things.
That's rule number 1 of journalism: no one reads the revision.
It's too late. Yeah,
this is true. I mean, they put the corrections on the back page usually, right?
Yeah, a
But,
lot of people seem to have a problem with the self-nominating part. And I like to put it in that way that you're rather nominating your characters or worlds that you created instead of just yourself. Well, at least for your creations. Maybe that'll help people to think of, they brought this character or this world to life, and then they nominate this world or this character because they deserve it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, reactions. What else? What else have you got? I don't want to single anyone out, but I don't know.
I think the biggest thing that I like want to point out with like just in terms of like approaching people's reactions to it is that I've seen kind of exactly what Sakku just said as like many times, like, hey, believe in yourself, you deserve to get credit for the things you've done and stuff. And the main thing I want to point out is that there are reasons for people to be opposed to this that have nothing to do with like how they feel about their own creations or what their creations are worth and stuff. There's other aspects at play, and I just I don't want it to get so reductive to where it's just like, oh well, if someone doesn't like it, it's because they just need to they just need to understand that they should believe in their characters and their creations and just self-nominate and be a part of it, because there's there are other reasons.
Yeah, there are people that need to hear that, but I hear what you're saying in that that's not the only issue that people have. Well, tell me.
I also understand the other side.
Please.
No, I just wanted to say that I also understand the other side, that some people are very uncomfortable with nominating themselves or would rather use that to nominate other people that they enjoyed their work of.
I do feel like that is a big negative to this new process, that there's going to be a percentage of people that are just not included because they don't have confidence, or they don't think something is award worthy that they've done, even if the rest of the community might disagree with that. And I think that's unfortunate. Like it's going to self-select just for the more bold and confident people. So it's just a little bit less inclusive by definition. I think definitely a process where I think if it was just giving consent to be a part of it, then you wouldn't lose as many people. Because it's like, no, you have to not only give consent to be a part of this, but you also have to tell us what you did that was award worthy and why it was award worthy. Like,
I would have loved to see a process like what you just said, Keld, where you go to do your nominations, but prior to, you're asked, would you accept a nomination if it came your way? Yes or no. Then you go through and nominate your people that you think are worthy. That solves a lot of the logistical issues in my mind. But I do understand that you're still going to have thousands of people nominate. I don't know how many people play Dreams on a regular basis, but there are a lot of people nominating all over. It's still logistically probably a nightmare. I don't know. The process last year was it brought everybody together. It was so fun to lift everybody up, and that was the biggest thing that I felt was lost, from this year to last year. And my initial reaction was probably, like as anything that changed, excited, and maybe a little bit of an overreaction, but it's still going to be a fun. It's still going to be an experience that we all enjoy. It's still going to be something that means a lot to everybody that's nominated and everybody that's involved and had anything to do with it. But my initial reaction was, it really meant something to me, be nominated by my peers, and that's a special thing. I mean, it was so special to me that I have a dang tattoo of a nomination. I mean,
can we get a close up?
Yeah. That's something that that's, to me, that's important, to have your peers to lift you up like that. And I hope that they find a way to next year bring that back in some way, shape, or form.
Well, what do you think about the community voting for some of the Impies? Do you think that'll sort of suffice for community input?
I mean, that existed last year too, right? I mean, as far as like it was not streamer, but it was most improved, Unity Star, a few other things like that.
Yeah.
Um, I, I don't know. I
To,
don't know
to,
Maybe
what.
like
to,
more
set
of
to set it
those.
up
They
for
do a
anyone who's
short
not
one?
familiar, the process. So there's usually 20 plus awards, and I believe both years 1 and 2, 6 of those awards, different ones each year, have been voted by the community, in like an internet survey, and then the other 15 or so awards have been decided by, I believe, individual panels of people that include people from Media Molecule as well as just industry people. Like the the favorite streamer award last year had a couple a couple prominent streamers that were judges for it, and I think they've had. They've even had Todd Howard doing like as one of the gameplay judges in year 1.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's kind of how the process has worked in the past, and we think it's probably going to be the same this year. It seems.
I
Seems
was
that way.
surprised to find out that the number of nominations that you received actually, I mean, they say it had no effect on whether or not you were nominated, whether you received 1 or 100. So that kind of changed
Oh
my
yeah.
view on this year's situation, because if you nominate yourself, it's just 1. It could have been 2 people that nominated me last year. It doesn't make me any less grateful, But
Yeah.
um, to me, that was, I think, important information to get out from MM.
I think it when I saw that, I mean the it was basically that nominations past your first nomination didn't matter at all. Is basically the way it's been
Right.
put. They didn't go, oh well, this one got the most nominations, we should give that extra weight or anything like that. Hearing that definitely changed how I felt about it too. It made them feel less significant. Hearing that, it did make them feel
Yeah.
like, I know that probably more than half of the stuff, maybe all the stuff I nominated, got nominated by other people, which takes a lot of the wind out of my sails, right? Like I want to have even more impact than we had in year 1 and year 2, like in a perfect world, versus having less this year.
What I didn't
So,
like last year was that you could only nominate one person. So then it made this like weird little sub game. Like, let's say they've got, a category that one person is a clear front runner, but I still want other people to be nominated. So like, what if everyone kind of assumes they're like, oh, well, obviously Keld is getting nominated and no one nominates Keld. I mean, that's unlikely, I guess, but I mean,
Unheard of.
right, but like, you never know, or just someone who's like, kind of further down that scale. Maybe there were 5 people that we're going to nominate, and then they're like, oh, but I want to make sure that this other person down the scale also gets nominated. So you'd have to guess. And if those 5 people spread out their nominations, everyone gets that nomination. But if they cluster up accidentally, someone gets left out who, would have been nominated if we could just nominate more than one person.
Yeah.
I think what thing they might be avoiding with the self-nomination process is there are people who feel like there are cliques in Dreams, and that the reason they're not getting recognition is that they are not part of these cliques, which is not accurate, because even like in the streamer, like let's say you're on Twitch all the time, that's 20 people that are consistently seeing your stuff. It's not a huge difference, like I'll get 6 more thumbs up because, I put my thing on, like my thing was on Ellie's stream or something,
But I mean, I think sometimes people say, popularity contest when it comes to things like this. And I think there's definitely truth to that, but I think it might be slightly more accurate to call it a visibility contest.
Yeah.
Like
Exposure. Yeah.
if you
I mean,
are
well-
out there like doing stuff on stream all the time, and people are, people are showing up, and
Yeah,
you're just more visible.
There's also elements where quality does become more visible. I mean, like
Mhm.
Locke won last year, and like does that have something to do with the fact that it was on streams 8 hours a day? Like, but then you got to look at it. Why was Locke being streamed for 8+ hours by dozens of people, like over weeks? Like, it's because it was good. Like there is like there's a balance between all of that, and there's no just like, oh, like if something is popular and it wins, it's a popularity contest. Like it's hard to quantify it that way.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I was nominated for Most Improved Creator, and if I hadn't streamed, I would have never got that nom because I don't release a lot. So people were able to see my growth as a creator by coming to the stream and seeing where I started, which was nothing. I couldn't do anything, and to be able to do what I can do now, so have that exposure, it'd get me a nom, but it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like there can also be dreams that might have released early this year and some people just forget about them because it's so far off. And then I think this process now helps to still have these dreams in that might have been forgotten about, or also for the people that just don't have any following at all or aren't even on social media, they can still submit their stuff and have a fair chance probably. So I think that's a good point there.
Yeah,
I feel like that happened
agree
with the Pilgrim last year, because it released
Yeah.
so early, everyone forgot about it. And that, I mean, to me, is one of the better Dreams that I've played. It was one of the first ones that I played when I came to Dreams. Loved it. It's well put together. It feels like a solid, well thought out game with good mechanics, good controls, and it has a progression that, and there, it's not just one style of game. It changes throughout the game. And for the fact that didn't get nominated is maybe they couldn't reach the person. I don't know. That could have been a thing too.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, they said they couldn't reach a few people that would have gotten nominations.
Yeah. I think it's tough because when it comes to the MP nominations, it's really no matter how much the community gets to involve in nominating things, it still boils down to one perspective, MM's perspective, on what happened throughout the year. So I guess something like how Cutaia did on his stream, remembering the last year. I think if more people did things like that, it would bring in some more perspectives on how was the last year in Dreams. And I think just boiling down only to the MPs is just difficult because they're important, they're the official thing, but things will get forgotten no matter what, if it's just MM.
I mean, things are always going to get forgotten. Small things, like I've seen that a lot too, that like the idea that this will help highlight smaller creators. But I mean, like, we got to be realistic that it's 5 things are going to get shortlisted. Look, think of any category, like think of music. 5 things are going to get shortlisted. 5 songs.
And there were at least 6 things
some of those
throughout the year.
And some of those songs get, whether we want them to be small creators or not, some of those 5 songs are going to be big popular songs that you've heard a lot. So like, okay, yeah, we got a chance that maybe 1 or 2, smaller creators are going to get shortlisted. What we're missing is the dozens of creators that would have been involved in the conversation prior to shortlisting. Like, we've given up that whole part where we all where we as a community lift up these small creations and talk about things. When I was doing on my stream the other night, like just the symbolic nominations that we're doing, we had like at least a dozen songs that people wanted to highlight and say, hey, this was cool this year. That's already more than we're going to see in the shortlists.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to pick a song too. Like those of us who create songs, like how am I going to pick which one to submit? It's whichever I think other people would have liked. So with the nomination process, if no one nominates any of my songs, okay, like they weren't worth submitting then,
Yeah.
Like, is
But
the
now
molecule
with
that's
this
listening to this song, like what genre are they into?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be just like 5 different donk songs or something,
Hopefully there's
I
at least
think-
one song about sausage.
Yeah, that's an
MM's
automatic winner.
Oh yeah.
MM's response to everybody's reaction on Twitter was so great, though. Like, just to see them, like, they're listening, they hear the concerns, they see what we are, like, giving them as feedback, and then they answered a lot of the questions that people had. That to me is very encouraging. What other community could you be a part of where you're heard in that kind of way by the people that are making the decision? And
Yeah,
I thought that was great.
If Ed Hargrave wasn't so good at music, I'd suggest he be a community manager. He's really good at breaking things down and explaining them with being direct, and very very clear to the point.
In a
also
gentle way
just-
too.
Yeah.
He also just participated in the community tournament that Kaduko hosted yesterday.
Oh yeah.
One of us.
That was really
Good
cool.
luck.
Did Kaduko set up some kind of back-end system that reads scores from dreams and is doing a thing kind of similar to High Score Wars, but different on Saturdays. That I didn't get to check out this week, but it seems pretty exciting. It seems very interesting.
It was really cool, and then we also had a chat in Discord where we could just talk. It almost felt like a first look at multiplayer.
Oh, I like the chat in Discord. That's pretty fun.
So I guess I have a question. Miss Yaiko kind of brought this up, that it was kind of like a surprise that the nominations were changing this way. So what do you think if they had, like a few months ago, said they were going to change how this is done? Like maybe hold off if you're making like a short list or something like that. But then they would have the vote back then, so
Yeah.
more pressure
Would
to change it.
would it
What do
have?
you
Yeah.
think
Would
about
that make a big difference, or would it just have moved the conversation back in time a little bit?
It would have
wish
moved the
they-
conversation, but by the time we actually got here, it would have been at least settled in some way.
Right. You wouldn't have to have sour feelings while you're doing the process yourself.
I feel like they sprung it on
Some
us. I don't
some
know.
people are going to have sour feelings because they're going to forget to submit. Like I forgot to nominate last year, and I was feeling a little bit bad because there were certain other people that it's like I hope someone else nominated them, and then they did, and like yes, good, And now, like if I don't get nominated, it's all on me. Like oh shoot.
How do people feel about to those of you who are submitting yourself for nominations? How do people feel about looking at your own creations and deciding what to submit?
It's a crapshoot.
Like, is
It's
there
all
a bit of a
terrible.
decision
It's
there?
like it's like making a demo reel. Like everything looks good, and then you're like, oh god, this is all terrible. I can't use any of it. And then you just go back and forth, and you're like, oh, this is all good. What can I cut? And it's all terrible again. The worst.
It's like tough because on my stream I was saying how not nominating yourself is almost like not advocating for yourself because of the new system. But then when I go and look at my creations and then I look at the form and it says best of the year, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like people value their creations differently. Someone might have made a game that's like as good as Locke, and they're like, "Oh, it's not that good. I'm not gonna nominate it." But other people would make like average creations and think this is the best thing ever. I'm gonna nominate it.
I really do feel
Well,
like that's the
Dunning-Kruger.
biggest loss. Like the just the loss of the people who don't view their own things in a positive light, or who, I think I really do feel like that's.
Oh wow.
To me, that's a bigger loss than being able to nominate people myself. Like just the fact that some people are not going to put themselves out there, that people that I would want to win an award, I have no control over helping them to win an award. That's a little disappointing.
I mean, messaging someone, but even that feels like a little too intimate,
Right.
Like just anonymously like nominating a person, and then maybe later be like, oh, by the way, I nominated you. That doesn't feel as weird, but
Yeah.
I feel
Or
like
if
we
you know
need-
someone's not going to, like trying to goad them into doing it, like you don't. That's not fun. That's not enjoyable. I'm really. I think what Notre said before about could there be a way to bundle submitting yourself, giving your consent to be a part of the ceremony in with the nomination process. Like,
Yeah.
could there be a way to like, I mean, could that help solve the problem? The first page of nominating is, hey, I do or I do not, either one, give consent to be nominated for the Impy Awards. And then the next page is nominate whatever you want. I wonder if that's possible, if that could remove the logistical nightmare of having to contact people, but also give the community back something that we loved about previous Impy Awards.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's sort of like that, except the second page is basically an interview process, right? Where you have to sort of justify your own nominations.
It feels weird. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it. I haven't done it yet, but I've looked at the form, and it does. It feels less comfortable. I would be much happier just giving my consent to be a part of it than I am looking at a list and going, do I think I'm a community star or whatever it is? Like, yeah.
I think there has to be a reason why they didn't do it that way. Like, there has to be some kind of getting thousands of nominations from a bunch of people, because like everybody's nominating 20 something different categories, and then say just 1,000 people with 20 something different categories. That's 20,000 nominations that you have to sort through. I know there are ways to make it easier, and I'm sure that if they made Dreams, they've got the people there to make something happen, to make it work, to organize this.
They're gonna have to watch like 1,000 different like teenagers like Sonic project, because they'll legitimately think this is great because they're 15. Like, this is the greatest thing I've ever made in my entire life. Like, submit it. Like, I'm so awesome.
Terms
and then
of
people
what?
get older, they get like crippling self-doubt. They're the ones who won't be submitting. Just think about like there's certain psychological stuff that goes along with being a creator, and a lot of it is like feeling, you make something and you learn a lot from making it, and then you make something new, and both of those things were good, but now the old thing just looks like crap to you because you learned so much in the process of making it.
We
and
often sorry,
like, it's just like an endless cycle of like, my stuff is horrible, and then like I love this so much, and it's horrible again.
We often don't have a very objective perspective on our own work.
Yeah. Keld, how? Sorry.
I said we'll need like Impy's therapy.
There you go. There's an idea for a post show.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Someone make it happen in dreams. We need a dream that gives you your Impy's therapy.
Keld, I was actually wondering, what do you think about that the Twitch streamer category, video category and stuff is not there anymore?
I think it's probably a good call. I was kind of wondering, right, like leading into this year, I was wondering, are they going to change up the categories for content creators again? Because year one, they had favorite streamer, and that was the only content creator category. And just to give you a little history, a little Impy history, I wanted that award. I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna sit here and be cool and casual about it. I really wanted that. I wanted the award because if you hadn't heard last week on the podcast, I might have streamed Dreams more than anyone else in the entire universe. Still a little bit.
Was it Pro Genesis?
Yes. So year one, that favorite streamer was one of the audience voted, the community voted categories, and Project Genesis. Project Genesis, I don't believe is really active in the Dreams community right now, but he was hustling Dreams on YouTube for years before Dreams was even released. Like, so, I mean, I was there like day one streaming Dreams as soon as I could. Project Genesis was creating content like 2 years beforehand, helping to build hype for the game. So ultimately, he had a really big audience to draw from that could that pulled in a lot of votes. Having said that, I was glad that he was recognized for his work. I think some people were throwing tomatoes a little bit and saying, oh, this person doesn't stream, so it's crappy that they won the award. And yeah, that seemed weird just because it was called streamer. But I had to reach out to Project Genesis myself and say, congratulations. I'm really glad you got recognized for your work, because Project Genesis deserved an Impy, regardless of what it was called. I thought that made me happy, even though I was sad and I wanted it for myself. Year 2, they removed it from the community voted categories, and they had a panel of judges that included a streamer whose name I don't recall now. They'd had at least one streamer that I had that I was familiar with. And now I don't believe they have ever publicized the panels, right? I don't think MM has ever said, here's a list of judges for each of the categories. I believe the only way we find out about them is when the judges themselves say so publicly on Twitter, which, I think 1 or 2 streamers did for that category. And I think we've seen that happen a few times. So year 2, I got the favorite streamer Impy, and I was happy, and I did want it still. I hope that I am satiated. That's what I want to say. I'm satisfied. Look, I'm happy. All right. I'm still going to nominate myself for a couple things, but I'm happy about that. Did I have a point? Was I just?
Yeah, you're bringing up the point about the merging categories and how you felt about it.
Thank you. I knew there was a point
sharing.
somewhere.
This is Impy's therapy.
I feel better already. Yeah. So the new categories this year. So last year they had favorite streamer, and if I'm not mistaken, what was the other category, Sakku?
Video creator.
Oh, yeah.
So favorite streamer and video creator, which seemed to kind of address
the
first year.
For video creators, it was also kind of merged, because they would also nominate people who just created films and stuff in Dreams for that.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Like people who made animations?
Yeah, like
and
Bison.
things?
Bison was also nominated for his short films and stuff.
Ah, interesting.
Strange.
Okay. Well, the way they've done it this year is that it is what is it called? I think that one's a little. I don't know.
Is it just Community Star? Did they merge that in with Community Star?
I think they have Community
outside
Star
of Dreams,
still.
something.
Oh, like yeah. Contribution outside of Dreams.
Contribution beyond Dreams, which is kind of a mouthful, and whoever wins that has to say, "I won the Contribution Beyond Dreams, Impy."
That's the one that had most people saying, "What is this?"
Yeah. So I think it's probably a good idea to consolidate. Probably, I don't know. Like I miss that. Like look, I'm partial to streamers because that's when I do it a lot, and I love watching them, and I spend a lot more time here than on YouTube. I'm sorry, Sakku, but it's true.
No worries.
But
that wasn't the only thing they consolidated, though. They consolidated Just Improved and Hidden Gem into Breakthrough Dreamer.
Well, there's Evolving Experience. Is that the one that's most improved? Because most improved doesn't sound very good, Like, I got most improved.
Evolving Experience is specifically a dream that has purposely changed throughout the year.
Like Splatty's Adventure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is kind of weird then, yeah.
I think that one's more for if someone has a project that they released it last year, so it shouldn't be eligible for an Impy, and they continue working on it.
Work on it, yeah.
That's cool.
I think that's the intent.
Breakthrough is not really the right word then if they're trying to include people who've just improved a lot, Like I think of all the people who got the game when it came out and they had kind of a long learning curve. Sometimes if people are busy, they can't even get through that curve for a while. So what if this year was their year? It would feel weird to say a breakthrough dreamer if you've been playing for 2 years,
Yeah, what is Breakthrough Dreamer right now?
I thought Breakthrough was specifically someone who joined Dreams this year, and really made a mark suddenly.
See, the way I looked at it was like somebody that just like broke out, like Stank Hank or something. He's been around, but you didn't hear of him, and then
Stank Hank, if you're listening, please nominate yourself. For everything.
Even contribution beyond dreams. Remember, people were like making their own Stank Hank things on Twitter and stuff.
Huge.
You know?
Yeah. I still find myself at random times humming "Welcome to Stank Hank's Booth." Like that will stick with me for a long time, I think.
Yeah, it seems like some categories are just not very definite. Like they could be anything.
They don't have a. Do they have a comedy category this year?
No.
Yeah, like there was a lot less genre.
I made all this comedy stuff, you know. It's like going for it.
Often comedy dreams aren't necessarily like things that like need to be like. This isn't the right word, but like quality, you know, like you don't have to like make like some amazing looking dream to make something that's super, super funny. Like, so that I kind of missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beta, there was a series which was really funny. I think it was even by Mark. And it didn't look that great, but it was really funny.
Are you
don't remember
thinking
the name,
of
actually.
Purple Pants Dance?
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's a classic. It's
a
dreams
great.
classic.
I like was it like LOL Pokemans? He'll do like things are glitching, you know, like the puppets, like it's on purpose, like they just teleport or whatever, you know, it's a follower or something, they just float into the car and out of the car, you know. Like
that's like a perfect example of like something that like exactly. I can't think of like a category that would go into, but like funniest, that should be there.
Yeah.
Where the heck is my Hognautica gonna go now? Like, in the toilet. That's where.
You better nominate that one for animation.
Excellence in narrative.
The animation was the guy just jiggles around. Sometimes hits stuff in the environment because like I couldn't scope in all the way or something, so there's like some part of it that collides with me.
Oh,
that's great.
I'll
just have to make a VR, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
That is going to be a less crowded category for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list here of categories this year, and so some other changes. Minor change, but instead of best and favorite, they're using a lot of excellence in. So I think last year was best art direction, you know, best sculpture. This year it's all excellence in art direction, excellence in narrative, excellence in animation. Musician of the year is interesting because it's been specific songs in the past, right? And it looks...
Yeah, that's a good addition.
That's good.
It looks like there's not a category for specific songs. We're just talking about the musician.
No, there's one music track of the year.
Is there? I'm
Yeah.
missing it. It's a big list.
It would have been nice if they broke
right
that
above
one
it.
down a little bit too, you know? Maybe. I don't know. Like until best with lyrics or something. Maybe.
Instrumental.
Last year was weird with that one because like they billed it as like a best song thing, you know, but then like obviously an album was what actually won it. So I think they're trying to like really allow an opportunity for people to say, hey, this musician's really good and this one specific song is really good. Like,
yeah, I think that's a pretty nice way of separating them.
Definitely nice to have that musician for people who constantly worked on the music and were really great with that.
Yeah, it definitely felt some conflict. I mean, you could look at any of these categories and start breaking them down into, wouldn't it be great if we had 5 more impies underneath this one? Like, music is definitely one where you start thinking that. I mean, both like you were just saying, Zelly, the instrumentals versus, you know, music with lyrics, like, feels like, I'd love to see separate categories.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a Grammys version of In Dreams with just music awards, because there's at least like 15 or 20 dreamers I could think of for best musician of the year.
I think someone in chat probably just started building that right after you said it. That would be fun. Like, I would love a community-run music awards in Dreams.
Yeah,
I could imagine it.
Yeah.
Because another thing with the music is like, if you're just making a lot of music, you're not necessarily getting that much recognition outside the Dreams music community. But like the Dreams music community is very like tight and active, you know.
And really
Kinda,
tough.
At the same
if I
time,
want to
though,
get
it's
into
kind.
you know, music's the wrong way to go about it. There's too many good people, you know.
Yeah, I feel like at the same time though that can count for almost every category. Like for example, where I'm more in with art, there's so many art released every single week from so many talented people, and it's also really hard to just nominate 5, I think.
That is a tough one for like competition wise. I feel like art direction. Well, do you have more breakdown this year in like the visual elements of art than you did before?
Doesn't feel
you
like
have
it.
excellence in art direction, which is, I mean, that's really leaning on the visual art, I think, more so than, you know, like the sound design and whatnot. And you have excellence in environment art, excellence in sculpture, excellence in character design. I like that that's its own thing.
Yeah.
You have a few categories, but that's definitely a crowded area of Dreams. Just people who are doing really amazing visual things with the tools.
It's also creator versus creation, you know, like if someone spent a lot of time on one creation versus someone who's made a lot of pretty good creations, you know, who's going to get that, who's more excellent in that case.
Yeah.
So I will say anyone who's like put off by this like excellence and best terminology, maybe just think of it like what is your best creation of the year, or what do you think is like the most excellent like art piece you've designed that year, instead of thinking about the overall picture.
Yeah.
I think in terms of a self-nom situation, I mean, it's not the best, but excellence might be better than best.
Yeah.
Just in a mental, like saying my thing is the best thing is kind of its own thing, but saying it's pretty good or it's excellent, I think
that is an
stretch.
Excellent point. No, but I think genuinely that's like, that is I think it's a much better, now to hear you guys say it, like, I think it's a much better label, because really, like, we all know that there's good and bad about awards and award shows. And I think we would all agree that at the end of the day, best is pretty damn subjective. Like, this thing that wins an award, everyone is never going to agree that one was the best. And the fact that it won the award doesn't make it the best out of all the things. So actually, now that you point that out, I really like the change to excellence in. Like, I think you could get a lot more people to agree that person did excellent work and they deserve an award versus they are the best at this thing.
Yeah.
It's just matched more for opinions and perspective on it.
Yeah.
Did anyone else get the impression that they didn't initially plan on self-nominations? Seemed to me like the way the nomination system was set up, it seemed like it was set up for the same way that things were done last year. Maybe things changed through the process and they decided self-noms were the way to go. Just like for creator of the year, they've changed it now, but didn't it say like, why do you think this person deserves it or something like that?
Yeah, the nomination form was really weird. The wording and everything.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of par for the course with with a lot of the things that they do. Things end up starting out weird. I don't know. Like, for example, the Halloween thing with the pumpkins and all those things. Everything feels like kind of disorganized. And then it kind of like slowly gets pieced together.
I mean, you're definitely, it's a smaller studio, and there's going to be versus a big event in, I don't know, Fortnite or so. You have an event in Fortnite. How many people are involved in that? And they got to start turning the ship like a year beforehand. And I think with you definitely see they're more nimble, but also I think there's going to be a little more room for I don't know, error,
quirkiness.
Yeah.
I think with the amount of events that they put on, it's just like Rory said, par for the course.
I definitely feel like they, with the exception of the nomination process this year being disappointing to a lot of people, I think in my mind, all of the events have really taken a step up every time they've come back. Impy's year 1 versus year 2, All Hallows Dreams. Although I did miss first person, and I really wanted that. But in general, I think every time one of these things comes back, I've been pretty impressed with the improvements.
Yeah,
really excited for the show.
The way they added first person in Hollow's Dreams, the original one was a simple, it was very simple how they did it. So I don't know why they didn't do it this time. Like it was hard.
I think I saw Jamie say that. No, I think he was joking, but there might have been some truth to it. He said that they didn't add it because no one mentioned it in the chat when people were suggesting features on stream or something. So I don't know if that was just a joke, like, oh, it's your fault, you didn't say it, or if there's a little truth where he was kind of saying, I kind of didn't think of it, and no one mentioned it, so it didn't happen. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, again, if it's Fortnite, like, there's going to be a board meeting about that feature, But in Dreams, you're going to have a much smaller, sometimes individual, group of people working on this stuff.
Just like with the Impies, the accessibility of for these type of events is just awesome. You're heard if something doesn't work out, like Typhus's Scarecrow was denied for the All Hallows Dreams, and they reached out and said, hey, like, if you just change these couple things, we'll put you in. And Typhus was like, no, I'm not changing, Typhus. But it was cool that they reached out and said, like, we'll get you in, but you just got to do a few things to make it a little more PG.
Yeah, Media Molecule's really good with that. Also, I just have a recent example where I put out an art scene, and it's All-Star. He messaged me that I put in the little rod from Kena, and if I delete that, I would get an MM pick, because they can't include that, and then that they even reach out to do that. I find that's really amazing from them.
That is impressive.
They messaged me on my Halloween thing because I had a quote from Mort Giznep, which was like a character that I just made up. He's like the dark version of Walt Disney, and they just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like a Walt Disney quote or something.
Whoa!
Like, nope, that's me. Because they were like, "Who's this Mort Giznep?" And I'm like, "It's me."
That's so great.
I was careful. Although if you Google Giznep, it comes up with Disney, because so many people do that. Because like they'll read the word Disney like it says Giznep, so it's like
I thought about that when I was a child.
Because of the curvy script. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out. Like, is that backwards? What is?
Yeah, it's a weird D. It's very curvy, and then the Y is kind of closed at the top a little bit.
I love that they contacted you to check
but
the
they gotta make
veracity
sure,
of a fake quote.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Mort Giznep after you. Like,
no, he's got money to sue. Mort Giznep.
Mort Giznep, yeah. And he drinks the blood of children, so like that guy. Yeah.
We had in art therapy for the first year of the Impies, they told us I had to remove 2 pieces of work by Pixel Gorilla. He made I'm gonna say the name of the painter wrong, Magritte. The guy standing, centered in the frame with the apple on his face, right? Yeah. Whoever made that. We had to remove that, and we had to remove. Oh, there was it was like I forget the name of the style and the artist, but we had to remove 2 paintings that Pixel Gorilla had made and I was surprised because they were such like that apple on the face image. It feels like an old thing, right? Like it feels like it's been around so long, like it must be okay. But apparently there were copyright issues with both of them, and I had to let them know that I was working on a big update at the time. When it was nominated. And so I told them, hey, there's going to be a giant Rubik's Cube like in the middle of this thing. Do you think if I just change all the colors to not be Rubik's Cube colors that will be okay? And they let it through. And I was very glad because Pixel Gorilla made that too. It's like everything he made was gonna get removed.
I changed the colors in a Rubik's Cube in my dream the other day because people were in chat saying, "Hey, there's a thing about that that Keld learned."
Wow, it's come up more than once in this group of people.
They did the same thing with entropy with the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the games.
Who knew Olympics was a trademarked word you can't use?
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
That's messed up.
They
The
just
ancient
stole
Greeks
the name
did
from,
that.
Yeah. Let the ancient Greeks defend their trademark. See how many of them are around.
I think one thing about being so receptive to like community feedback and stuff is why it's important to like have discussions like this about like changes they make. Like it's, some people, think that like you should just not just it's their game and just accept it. But like, I think they want to hear if community members like aren't gelling with changes they're making. Like they want to know like how they're doing and stuff. That's good feedback for them. Like no one's being a jerk or anything to we all still like what they do and everything, but it's okay if like some of us are like, maybe this could have been better.
I was just gonna say, like, it's nice that a spicy conversation in the Dreams community is still pretty tame compared to like most gaming communities.
Yeah, that's why I was so vocal. I felt like they should know why we liked the old version, what was important about it to us. And then, like, I wasn't going. I made the joke that I was going to get a Game Garage to cover up tattoo on my imp. Like, I didn't go buy a Game Garage, for the Switch or anything like that. Like, I'm not playing core. Like, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I think it's just important to give feedback and let them know how you feel and why you feel that way. Not just be like, oh, they've ruined it. They ruined it.
Yeah.
Hippies
F
back
you
in
guys.
my day. Yeah. Back in my day, the hippies were good. They were nominated by your peers.
Doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the clarifications that I got from Ed, that's why I retweeted some of them, because I thought that it was important that other people that felt the same way could see not only why, but that they were feeling the same way too. Like, we don't want this to be lost. We don't want the community to feel like they don't have the input. And then the information about last year where one nominations it didn't matter. That was important too.
Yeah. I thought I've seen a few people make the point that most awards are carried out this way, where you do have to submit yourself. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how accurate that is. I feel like if you're talking about bigger scale things, that's probably the case. I would imagine. I mean, I know if if it's a film festival, if it's something like, you are, it's on you to submit the thing rather than on the rest of the world to nominate you for something. And I definitely think that's probably largely for logistical reasons. I don't know. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
If they'd made like a short list of all the people that opted in, and then on the nomination form, like if that was already loaded in, then even on the form, you could just start typing in, and it would be like, oh no, this name doesn't work, and it's like, are you mistyping it, or did they not nominate themselves, or opt in, rather.
I think some of the categories are selected around community feedback, like helpful dreamer, for example, or community star. So those are things that they would want to see other people's opinion about, rather than someone saying, I'm the most helpful dreamer because I did this, or I'm the community star.
Yeah.
It feels uncomfortable.
Just a few of them, maybe. You could nominate others, maybe not all of them. There's some sort of middle ground. But the more I think about it, it's like, if you get 1,000, 2,000 nominations, you actually have to go play every single one. There's only 4 or 5 people on the community team. Like, there's just
Yeah.
There's not enough hours in the day. Like, just hire 20 more people just for.
Well,
do you
but
think?
if
Yeah, go ahead.
we've spent a lot of time talking about how like a lot of things get 1,000 nominations or whatever. Like, couldn't this technically give them more things to play? Because instead of everyone nominating Locke, now as Zelly mentioned, all the Sonics are submitting their stuff now too.
They could have ignored them. They might have been even, if it's like, okay, 1,000 people nominated this, and there's a bunch where 200 nominated and a bunch where 10 nominated. Like, why even look at the ones that only have one nomination? Or they could go through the list. Maybe a molecule will be like, you know what, I played this one. I don't know why only one person nominated it. I'm putting on the list for the other judges to watch.
Yeah.
Curation.
Yeah, I mean, I've focused a lot on the logistical nightmare of contacting people, that side of it, which was mentioned, but the logistics of actually giving a thoughtful look at every single thing that gets nominated. Like I could have a panic attack just thinking about that project. Like just organizing that endeavor. Like where do you even start?
If a 2-hour game gets nominated, do you have to play the whole game?
Right.
What?
Yeah, that's something that I never considered either, but it's not something that's resolved with the new system. That's still a problem, like Cutaia said.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how the numbers pan out after this year's over, but we probably won't see those numbers, but yeah, I would be very curious to know about the volume of creations that is submitted at this point. I mean, it's got to be much less. It's got to be much less because I'm going to nominate myself in a couple categories, not in all of them. I mean, there's going to be 15 plus categories I am not nominating myself in, where that would have been 15 plus more In Dreams links that I'd be sending their way. So I mean, that is a big reduction in terms of the workload on how much stuff there is to look through.
Yeah, what do you think about the argument that people said that it's just like the community jam? In the community jam, you submit your own stuff as well.
And we all know the community jam is a shining bastion of dreams.
Yeah.
And I think more things should be like the community jam.
We all agree that the best thing always wins.
Yeah, but Sakku reminds me, so there's no award for players? So I guess it's a big problem that Dreams is having right now. We need players to stick. We need Dreams to stick with people who just want to play all of our creations. So it seems like there's not much there for players to do now, and especially with there being no nominations, no shortlists that players have put together now is useless. So I feel like that is maybe the biggest problem they need to address. So I guess we could brainstorm now. What do you think an award for a player would look like?
MVP, most valuable player.
Yeah, there you go.
Honestly, it's if you topped 10 scoreboards or way more than that. I know Jake and all that.
Do you guys know Driven?
Yeah.
Driven is on the top of the scoreboards in every scoreboard.
Oh, we know
So I feel
Driven.
like there should be some kind of impy for that. We need some way to reward players for getting good at every dream.
It would make
They
me
added 2 categories last year, kind of last minute. Weren't there some there was no nomination process, but they kind of made up a couple of categories at the end? I don't remember. Maybe not.
I don't think there was an award for them last year, no.
They tacked on a couple impies to the first year, right? There was someone mentioned in chat earlier the most used asset and something else that was outside the nomination process. It was just a couple tacked on at the end. Yeah. I don't remember last year.
Well, they not only don't have a reward, they also can't really nominate themselves if they are mostly playing or only playing.
I think there should have been more feedback on that stage. What categories, what categories do we even care about? I mean, I think I care about all these categories here, but there's things I care about that aren't on there, like the comedy, for example.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more I miss that comedy category. I feel like comedy is its own thing, in a way, just like music is a category. I feel like comedy, in my mind, sits on the same shelf,
But where does that end? Because they got rid of horror as well. And then so do you put it in
they
the
should have
horror
that.
category? Do you put it in RPG category? Do you put it in shooter
Logic.
category?
But
Where does
comedy
it
is
end?
fundamental, right? Like, I mean, you could have a comedy horror game, a comedy RPG. I mean, like, I feel like comedy is as fundamental as music. Like, I feel like comedy is not a genre. You can call it a genre, like you can use it that way.
It's a genre of art like itself, I guess.
Yeah, it
Comedy
feels like
and
a
tragedy.
basic category to me. Yeah. Yes, best tragedy NP.
Best tragedy.
That's true. You have stand-up
Best tragedy
comedians.
would
You
be
don't
the
have
one whose
stand-up
stuff
horror.
got deleted because they weren't saving it privately. They were just saving all their things local. Best tragedy.
Yeah. Well, I
But
think
it's true, actually. There
Campfires.
was a lot of horror. Lots of good horror
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. I think the first year that the first year they had, did they have horror both years or is it just one? Does anyone remember?
They had,
I only know.
or
one.
last year, because Twilight Shift, I know, was nominated for horror, right?
Last year they had Scare of the Year, I think.
Yeah, yep, that existed.
Yeah.
I wasn't around for the first one, so I can't say for sure.
I feel like the first year is when
missed the
Project
genres.
Genesis did that jam and there was just a bunch of horror games all out at one time.
That was the second year.
Was that the second year? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The jam was early in the year, but that was where we got Invocation and quite a few other horror.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. I think the point about recognizing players is really interesting. I think high scores seems like an obvious way to recognize, to lift up someone from that slice of the player slice of the community. I wonder if you could have an award for someone who is playing and giving a lot of feedback, right? Like a playtester award, a support player award. We could come up with something that sounds good, but that feels like maybe that could be another way to recognize people on the play side.
Yeah. I think the high score one could be like relatively simple. It could be maybe not even. It could be all year, but using the already existing high score game playlist as the games to measure the scores for would be like kind of a simple task. Yeah.
Maybe players, Og the Enigma in chat says, maybe players who consistently leave good reviews and feedback could be a player-based category. Although that partly ties into most helpful. That's true. Like most helpful, I tend to think of people who make tutorials, but a most helpful dreamer could be someone who's just very helpful inside of dreams.
Congeniality
Highest
award.
quality control.
You could do most helpful creator, most helpful player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best feedback or something. Yeah. Or like, because community
then
star is different,
Most critical.
Yeah.
They would kind of need to track that, though, I think.
As critical
How many-
as Pixel Gorilla every year.
Yeah.
It's a lock. No pun intended there with the lock joke, right? I didn't mean that.
That would be cool. Like QA award though. Like, come on, recognize QA.
Yeah.
Some people leave really good comments. Leave good comments. Like they'll just be straight out like, oh, if you go too fast through this area, you clip through something, like it's not just, oh, this sucks. Like they're like really, QA style.
There are some really, like, you can expect to get some nice comments back when you have some bugs in Dreams. I've got quite a few myself. Most exploits
I must say,
found.
the comment section in Dreams is really well used, I think. Like lots of people use that. I'm almost surprised by how many.
Yeah, I mentioned this last week. The only thing I want to change on well, not the only thing, but the biggest thing I want to change on the comments is make them visible for longer in Dreams, because they, once you get 7 or 8 comments, like they start to disappear, and you might get a bug report from someone, and if it runs off your page, if you don't log in for a little bit, you'll just never ever see it. It kind of disappears into the ether. But we talked about that last week. What else do we have for categories here? I'm seeing.
I had the list up here. You know what occurs to me? Maybe the reason they're not doing the thing with genres is that they've really stepped up their curation game over this last year. So like for example, the comedy thing, like if you want to get recognized for comedy, like they'll have like a comedy category, and they might put yours where like your the thumbnail is like the thing that you see on that category, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I want an Impy. I want to hold it and put it on the shelf.
I wanted to talk about you had mentioned the idea that like a lot of awards shows work this way.
Yeah.
And you asked us to address that, and I didn't get a chance to. But like, I think there is a little difference between some awards. Like, I think about like Half Up. They won the Free Play Awards, right? And clearly, Half Up had to submit that to that. But like, that's some company doing the Free Play Awards who throws an awards ceremony out so they can get sponsors, make a little money, and also, yes, do a cool thing. But like, it's about money. The Oscars, that's multi-million-dollar companies putting out their names into the pool so that they can win an Oscar and get multi-million dollars back. Like,
it's big scale.
And I mean, like, sure, there's award ceremonies that work that way. This was always kind of billed as a community event. Like it was in the form of an award ceremony, but like, I don't know if I feel like saying, okay, well, so we're going to make it like every corporate soulless award ceremony where we pretend that the award is really important. Everyone goes up and cries. And like, I don't know. I don't know if I want it to be like every other award ceremony. I want it to be special. I want it to be dreams.
Sure. And I mean, there are,
and that's not to say it's not still special. You know what I mean?
But I echo everything you just said, like 1,000%.
I mean, there are definitely awards ceremonies that work that way. I think, but even in the Oscars, right? I think in the Oscars, the people who actually vote, you have to submit your film to the Oscars, right? But even in the Oscars, it's being voted on by your peers. So like the award itself is, we don't touch, okay, no, that's not true. There are some community voted awards that we do that with. But in previous years for the Impies, like the nomination process is the part where you are most involved. Like you get your hands dirty and get in there. I think that's a fair point. Definitely.
Yeah, the Academy is what, like 9,000 people or something. I just Googled it.
Is that all? 9,000 people? Don't they? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna speculate about how Oscars work. I don't know that much,
sure.
But looking at the categories here, I'm seeing community collaboration. I'm wondering what that one is about. I don't have descriptions for them.
It would be like Trick or
just
Treat
the big
Street,
list.
Dreams Fest.
Oh, yeah.
All the unexciting asset jams.
This Impy recognizes a community-run event that invited other dreamers to collaborate together to create something amazing. So yeah, like events.
You're so prepared. I like that.
Yeah, try.
Okay, yeah, that one's obvious. If I had more sleep last night, I think I would have known that right away. I've thought about that one already, but I think that is a really nice addition. I think that's a really good way to recognize some of this stuff. Like, otherwise, I don't know. There's no place other than, creation of the year or something very general where something like Dreams Fest would fit in. I feel like if Dreams Fest doesn't get a community collaboration nod, I'll be really surprised. Be really surprised. Hey, Beard of Cats, are you nominating yourself? I'm gonna bully you into it.
You better be.
Entropy does a lot of stuff for that category too.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? Marble Multiverse? Entropy, can you tell us? Did you submit Entropy? If someone chose, it had to be Entropy.
Like Entropy has something for almost every category now.
That's true. That's true.
He's the only one that submitted in all categories.
He should definitely go for Creator of the Year thing.
Marble Multiverse, he put into the running. I mean, that's yeah.
I wish they would say how many people will be shortlisted in a particular category, but maybe they don't know for sure.
They say.
Do they do?
Yeah, it's 5, and
5?
then the best
Okay.
creator is 10.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Best creation is 10 or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
I take that back. I think Acert nominated himself in every category too.
But that was every year.
Wow.
Acert is the one person for whom the nomination process did not change. Look, and he did that. He did it publicly, so it's fair game. Oh, well.
That's where they got the idea.
If we've got more Impy stuff to discuss, then feel free to steer it back to Impy's. But I figure we're getting close to the end of the show here. I thought maybe it'd open it up to any dreams topics that people want to get into. If anyone's got anything on their mind, my vanilla question that I like to open with is what do you want for the future of dreams? Whether it's dream surfing or dream shaping or the community or for yourself personally, what are you interested in, excited about? What do you want to see? But if anyone's got something else they want to jump in with, something, an itch you want to scratch, I'm open.
I just want to give a final thought on the Impies.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I would like to add is that we all have these different experiences throughout life, and the Impies is one of those. And we're lucky, and this is why like diseases such as Alzheimer's are so scary, because we have wonderful, beautiful memories from these events in our life. And we get to carry that with us. So regardless if things change with the Impies and get better or worse, we've still got last year forever, for as long as we're around. So, don't be so hard on MM. That's the way I look at it. We got some pretty great things along the way, and great things to come.
Amen.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're giving their best.
A nice sentiment. Anyone else?
Yeah, just like to say, I think there's a lot of things with dreams that's like forward looking as well. Right now, everyone's looking at the category outside of dreams and everyone's confused. But I don't think that's going to be the case in like a year or two from now. I think that's going to be very like obvious. Like it's going to be a lot of things happening outside of dreams and inside of dreams. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
I agree. That's nice to hear. Well, anyone else got any closing Impy thoughts, or would you like to get into some other dreams topics?
I would say just thank you to Media Molecule and the community, even that we even have these amazing events and celebrations for dreams and the community. The show was really amazing, and I can't wait to see this year's show.
Last year's show, the surprise, I didn't know there was going to be Abby and Tom puppets at the show last year.
That was cool, yeah.
Andymation B created puppets for Abby and Tom. I thought that was a really fun surprise to see the show hosted by Puppets and Dreams.
Oh, they had content too. There was community created content as part of the Impies, right? Or am I thinking of was
The
it from the
commercials,
Dreams
yeah.
Tom show? Yeah, the
Yeah.
commercials. But they had a weird process for it because it wasn't open, but then a lot of people knew about it.
I think I ruined that actually.
Oh no! Tell us, how did you ruin it?
No, they initially they tweeted out and they were like, "Hey, we want people to send us like fun commercials for the Impies," and I put together Frank's Discount public domain character mark, and I sent it to them, and then they deleted the tweet and then instead just contacted some people and was like, "Hey, we need some good people to make some."
That was, yeah, I remember that was a little weird. I wondered if they didn't like submissions they got, or if they got so few submissions that they thought they needed to. I could see that being a thing where they're like, hey, submit this stuff. And like so many of us go, oh, I can't. I couldn't possibly for the Impy Awards.
No, it was
like,
a very quick change. So I think it was the opposite. I think they got stuff and they were like, this is a terrible idea. Why did we open this up?
Abandoned mission.
Video or something.
They saw
That would've
Cutaia's
made
entry and
something.
just said, no, says Sheik. Well, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this year. I wonder if they're going to do any community created content this year again. I feel like they probably put it out there in December last year, but yeah, after the way it went last year, I'd be curious to know. I mean, they usually also have some animations, some creations by some molecules. I don't remember if they did last year or not, or if I think it was all. I think it might have been all community stuff. But how about another topic?
They should do little interviews. They should do like little red carpet interviews, like how we did our own. But they could just have people send in like voice, like do a voice chat and record it, and then like they animate it, make like a little puppet. Be cute.
I would enjoy that.
Would probably be a lot of work.
It could be a little bouncy puppet where the mouth just flaps.
I was going to mention
That would be a lot of work, though.
this week there is some server maintenance for Dreams on November 30th at 10:30 a.m. GMT for up to 2 hours. And in that tweet, they say they have a picture of Herb the Bat from the, what's it called? Ancient Dangers game? Yeah, A Bat's Tale.
Yeah, they're teasing that a lot.
So I think, sounds
Coming out
like,
on the 30th, I think.
yeah, it sounds like we're probably going to see it. I imagine we're going to see the next update, and it's going to include Ancient Dangers, A Bat's Tale.
Yeah, they've been teasing the update as well.
Anyone have any thoughts on that? I feel like the Bat's Tale thing just got buried by enthusiasm for Tren. Like I kind of forgot about it because Tren. Because I don't know. I want to play with those trains. Damn it! I don't know how long it's going to take.
Is that the one with the two characters that it's like a couch co-op?
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty amazing game. This is a game going to be in the style of Maya Lisa. I think she also created the characters and stuff.
Oh, did
I
she?
love her art style. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, the whole game is going to be in that style. It's really cool.
That's amazing because she made the original Ancient Times kit as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was lovely to look at. The Herb the Bat character design is really delightful. I mean, it's one of those you look at and go, "There's no reason I would think that's Dreams if I just saw that picture out in the wild somewhere." No reason at all. Like it just looks like. In fact, it even looks like it wasn't made in Dreams to my eye. I feel the same way looking at, I don't know if anyone saw Willow the Bob posted a face rig on Twitter recently.
Oh yeah, the Pixar style one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would look at that and I'm like, it doesn't even look like Dreams. Like it looks like it came from something else entirely.
It looks like it's doing the blends, but it's not. That's what's so crazy about it.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that you can do in other programs you can't do in Dreams. They figured out how to get around it.
Yeah, Willow's really, really talented. She's an amazing artist. She's the one that actually did my imp tattoo, and that was the first streamer I've ever met in person. So cool to get to know her.
So she actually applied the tattoo to your skin.
Oh yeah, she tattooed me. Yeah, I drove 8 hours each way to get in one day. Yeah, it was a 24-hour trip. I woke up at 3 a.m. and got ready, and I got home at 3:30 a.m. the next day.
Oh, that's amazing! An 8-hour drive each way with a tattoo in between.
Yep.
So, I mean, you've pretty much reached peak Dreams, Noter. Like, you have a Dreams tattoo put on your skin by a dreamer.
That's That was the only reason I didn't have one already, is I was waiting to get one from a dreamer. I was actually initially going to go overseas and have Funk do it. Because he's also a tattoo artist. But an 8-hour drive is a lot easier to achieve. So when I found out Willow was able to do it, that was the route I took. But I do still intend to get my original imp tattooed by Funkus.
What does your original imp look like?
The tree imp.
Tree imp. I can't even picture it.
Like, is it a branch? Or?
Oh, it's got branches.
It's got branches.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a brown imp with branches.
Like branch arms, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would.
I hoped.
I would consider getting my one of my kitty imps from the beta, like the first just little fluffy orange kitty imp that I got in the beta. I think if I got a Dreams tattoo, that would be my first pick.
You have tattoos already, Keld?
I have 0 tattoos. I'm a person who always says shit like, yeah, this tattoo would be cool, or like, yeah, I'm gonna dye my hair purple, and then I just don't do it. Like, I think maybe I get enough joy out of just saying I'm gonna do things.
It's nice to think about.
A bat's tail is
That's
that like Dark Souls looking kind of one that they're doing,
like
right?
Yeah, it's like a dungeon crawler type.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what the combat turns out like, because
Yeah. And to see,
I have one wish for it. The
For
word shit. MM needs to say shit in more of their dreams. No, but really, like, so that they, like, I sometimes like we've talked about this. Sometimes I think that they do that, like they put that in our stream to let people know, like, hey, like this is Peggy 12. Like you don't have to be like make things for 6-year-olds.
Like, I think they actually put that. I think they put the word shit in our stream to force the Peggy 12. That's my theory.
Oh.
Because otherwise, what is in dreams that wouldn't be just E for everyone?
Right.
Like everything else in base dreams before we got at it.
So all of you out there, say shit in more of your dreams.
In fact, when I heard them say shit in our stream, that was one of my favorite parts of our stream, and I loved our stream, but that brought me some joy. I think language is a funny area in dreams where people are still not entirely sure, not entirely sure what they can get away with. Like you hear F-bombs in dreams semi-regularly, but I think people kind of feel like, oh, if I say fuck, I might get moderated. I don't know.
Well, Sony is like that auto modding on like captions is just ridiculous. I made a box of graham crackers and I had to like put a funny A and like pick a font where you couldn't tell the difference as easily. I couldn't say chupacabra.
What part of graham crackers did it censor?
It was
crackers.
Cracker? It was crackers.
Here's what's enraging.
It makes it more offensive.
Yes,
as a cracker,
you've taken something benign and you've pointed out, oh hey, there's a racial slur in that word you just typed. By the way, in case you weren't thinking about it, like.
And then the
Kids asking their
chupacabra,
parents.
it's not even the chupa part that they censored. They censored the cabra part. Goat. You can't say goat in Spanish. But because in Portugal, it would be like, you'd be like, oh, that guy's being such a cabra, be like, crazy or idiot or whatever, Still like very mild, mild,
If you try and type the word shooter, you will get the word hooter censored. I like that one.
Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that.
Yikes.
I don't play shooters.
Like, it's okay. Shooter's not a word you would ever have to type in a game engine.
Magma Monster gets his name censored all the time. Yeah. Something in the middle there is like some kind of South American slang.
Like so many offensive things have been put into my head that weren't there to begin with from
imaginary
the censorship.
Was it Imaginary Sports Jam was censored? Like you couldn't say Imaginary Sports when you submitted to that one.
The title of the jam was censored.
The censorship on the PlayStation is actually different than the censorship on In Dreams. When I made Trick or Treatment, when we made Trick or Treatment, it was fine. I named it. Everything was okay on Dreams itself. I went in and edited some things on In Dreams, and it censored the In Treatment. So it was like Trick or Treat star. But then when I went back into Dreams and edited it in Dreams, it was fine.
Huh.
Weird. I imagine they don't have the same like stock Sony censorship thing set up in Dreams, probably, since it's not in game.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe there's some workarounds there. I don't know. You know what I want to? I'm like on the subject of shit in Dreams. Well, mature content in Dreams. I wonder if anyone here remembers. There at one point, there was a few things that got moderated for content. Some of them were made by Typhus, and at one point, there was documentation on the Media Molecule site that said they were looking into a way to flag mature content so that you could keep it in Dreams, so that it would be segregated somehow, or, so you wouldn't have, you wouldn't see it unless you asked to see it. Something to that effect. I don't know if there's ever been, like, for a while, like every time, I stopped by Typhus's stream, it was like, that was the topic of discussion. Like, hey, have we heard anything else about that? Have we heard anything else about that? And I'm pretty sure those words went away, and I don't know if it's a consideration anymore, but I don't know.
I'll ask Dreams XXX.
So Cutaia is going to get to the Dreams XXX subreddit. It is exist. It is exist.
It is exist.
It is exist. It is real. It does exist. You can go there. You've been warned. It lives up to its name. It is XXX content created in Dreams. I don't even know what does XXX mean anymore, but it's Dreams porn.
Wow.
That's basically it.
Doesn't, as long as you keep it like private, right? Like you either do screenshots or add someone as a collaborator consensually to share it with them.
Well, you don't even have to save online, right? That's what I do with like, I like to make characters to learn. So I do a lot of copyright characters, and I just don't save them all.
Well, that's what I wonder about, because I don't like the idea of not saving online, because anything can happen to a PlayStation, especially if you have a PS4. Like be really old now. One day it will just not work. But if it's saved as private, like, do they have any kind of claim against that? If they never see it, that's what I
don't think you'd have to worry if you save something as private, because the way like copyright moderation is set up in Dreams, you can't complain about something unless you own the copyright. So I don't think will ever be looking through people's online saves to try and censor their content for, I'm guessing, for any reason, unless there was some, bigger legal reason to do so. I don't think that'll ever be an issue. I think you'd be safe. Now, I can't promise.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was the top 10 jam winner that had a penis in it?
Was that the fashion one?
That was Emma Lost in Fashion. It got number 4, I think. And there was it was like artistic nudes in it.
Penis?
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a very artistic dream, and it had like a nude figure in it. And it got away with it for a very long time. And at some point they changed them. The must have come down on them, because now there's a can of beans in front of the penis or something along those lines.
I was so disappointed by that can of beans. We've brought up penises in Dreams on my stream a few times. And so I think I was especially disappointed by that can of beans, especially disappointed because I thought that penis was precedent. I thought it was a penis that established a little bit of precedent and said, hey, artistic representations of nudity are okay. Because the terms of service in Dreams state that if they're sexualized, they're not okay. But I believe they added, after House of Beavis got moderated for representations of nudity, seemed to take that seriously, because it's something that everyone in Dreams at the time knew what it was, and most people, it's a favorite dream for a lot of people at the time. And I believe they updated their content guidelines after they reinstated House of Beavis to say specifically that if it's not sexualized nudity is okay in Dreams. So Bring the penis back. What?
I think we can thank Kareem for that. He's big on like figure, like human form art. I don't know if anybody follows him on Instagram or anything like that, but he does a lot of that, like nude drawing.
His Instagram is really good. But I think in an artistic community, I think that's a precedent I really want to see set.
It does. It says nudes, statues, or figures are permitted if not portrayed in an overly sexualized manner. Overly sexualized content.
Semi-sexual.
So it's tasteful.
So it can even be slightly sexualized.
I think that's pretty generous wording, and to me, you shouldn't be, forgive the phrase, yanking penises out of dreams, like that fashion one.
Well, Og was just talking in the chat about Beavis stopping making nipples because of the moderation, but some of that comes down to like moderation lies on Sony. If someone reports something, I go straight to Sony, and then Sony's just like,
right.
So like
they're not checking the Dreams rule book, right?
Yeah. Whereas Dreams then has to come through and say, oh, we're gonna let this go. This is actually good. This is Dreams approved. So like, if you're going to do it, you might have to be aware that there might be a little appeals process, but go for it. Have fun, guys.
Someone's got to defend that penis or it won't stand.
I'd like to know what the story is with the beans can, if that's allowed.
That's a good question.
I mean, that's kind of just sort of dirty too. Now you're making beans into something dirty. I'm offended.
I mean, they might have just wanted to avoid any appeals. They might have just wanted to take the easy way and just cover it up.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, I don't know, what would you even do? Like if that happened to me, and I wanted to fight it, I guess I would start making noise on Twitter. I don't know, like
they could have had their own personal change of heart. Maybe they got a comment and was like, you know what, let me change it. Like it's possible.
I'm not going to stand behind this penis after all. Well, this is
always
definitely
stand behind the penis.
This is definitely the episode of
you said you
Keep
wanted
Dreaming,
to talk about different topics.
Yeah,
turn
where we have said penis the most times.
Sure.
We're gonna see if we can top it next week. Maybe we can. But I think we need to wind it down. I really want to thank all these beautiful people. Like this is a big time commitment, and I appreciate y'all coming here and Brady bunching for me and for the audience. It has been really lovely talking to you, and I want to know before we wrap this up, if anyone's got any closing thoughts, any goodbyes, any plugs they want to. I'm just gonna point at you one at a time, and you could say whatever you like before we head out. How about we start with let's start with NotreDamin in the middle. Let's start with Alice.
Hey.
That's another Brady Bunch reference.
Yeah, I think I gave my closing thoughts already, just about recognizing that we have wonderful memories, past experiences, and don't let those things hold down what may happen in the future or give you some kind of negative outlook on potentially more wonderful things. So that's all I have.
Well, I didn't get as goosebumpy this time as the first time, but
the first time was good.
But I appreciate the sentiment.
Great aim.
Sakku, what do you got for us?
Well, first, I'm really thankful to be invited to this, to get to know you all a little bit closer. And I'm just looking forward to all kind of community events that we have. I think we as a community with Dream something really special. Also, something really special with how they interact with the community. Personally, I've been in a few gaming communities before, and most of them, even if they were nice in the beginning, they turned out to be toxic in some way, or it just wasn't as nice as this one. And how supportive it is with this one, just always, is really, really awesome. Just really thankful to be in this community.
Oh, see, even non-Americans can give thanks at this time of year. Danikaka, what have you got for us?
I'm also thankful to Dreams and Media Molecule for creating this game. I mean, this system. It's been helping me a lot rekindle my passion for game development. Like I had put it away for a while after graduation. But once I got into Dreams, I remembered how great it was to make games. And so one of the last games that I made in Dreams, 9 equals, it was very helpful to make it in Dreams, and I got a lot of good feedback from the Dreamers community. And I thought about starting to recreate it in Unity. So this is my new project that I'm currently working on, remaking 9 equals in Unity. So I expect to see it soon next year.
And you can catch
Good luck with that.
I should mention you can catch Danny on Twitch. NotreDamin you can catch on Twitch. He just jetted. He's going to do the weekly creation challenge. The what do they call it? The DHM Freaky NotreDamin Memorial. They're all alive. No one's dead. Super half-hour weekly creation challenge. That's what it's called. And you can catch him on Twitch too. Sakku, I think would probably send you to YouTube. Sakku's got a lot of stuff going on YouTube. Really good channel there. Pierogiboi, our new Alice, right in the middle.
Hello.
What are your?
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I am really grateful for Dreams. I was, not streaming on Twitch, trying to think of things to do, and Dreams was just naturally, something that fit in to like rekindling my creativity and things. So thank you, Media Molecule, for making that game. It's going to be very good. It's very creative. I've been streaming. Current project is remaking the Unit Circle game into something that's more than just a math game. Is kind of like an educational tool. So I'm making a lot of tutorials and things. And I'm really excited to see what I'm able to do. And, gonna kind of put all into it and hope that some people actually learn from it when it comes out. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I stream on Twitch. And thanks, everybody. I was really grateful to be on the show today. This was really good. Enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate you, Pierogi. Thank you. And definitely stop by Pierogi's Twitch stream. It's a delightful place to hang out.
Yeah, I agree.
MC Alchemist. 42.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was lots of fun. Like getting all those issues, controversial topics out in the open. I just want to echo what Sakku said, about how the community is just super open, and you've been a part of a few other communities that are just really focused on negatives, where I feel like Dreams is completely the opposite. So whenever things do come up, I feel like we address it in super healthy and open ways, and that's definitely something you shouldn't take for granted.
Absolutely.
So yeah, kudos to Media Molecule for facilitating that sort of environment with us all.
It definitely starts there, right? I mean, we all create the community every day when we live in it, but it definitely started with a nice tone.
Yeah, they really set the bar.
Cutaia.
Oh, okay. I guess I would just like to. Last thing is just. I guess just plug Acert, because that's what he would have wanted. So go to Acert's YouTube and
don't go to his Twitch
and put your penises in Dreams. Let's see how it goes.
Not literally, but
well,
yeah.
He's not going to stop you now too, right? I think I've seen him on Twitch.
He's back.
He has. I think he hasn't.
It's not real. It's not real. It's multi-stream.
Yeah, he hasn't fully committed to leaving Twitch. He's I don't know. He's streaming on Twitch again. He dual streams now. Well, Cutaia streams on Twitch also. He'd rather you go to Acert's stream for sure, but stop by Cutaia's when you're done with Acert. Professor Miloarty.
Hey. Thanks for inviting me onto the panel. And I guess I'd like to say that I guess one of my favorite things of for Dreams is just that I get to just play around building stuff released or not. Just venting creativity or playing around with the logic mostly is just fun in and of itself to me. And I appreciate Made Molecule for providing such a tool where I can do that in a plug and play manner. And I guess I'll plug myself. MiloArty on Twitch, some variation on other social media of MiloArty.
Check out MiloArty. MiloArty can also be found making me laugh on the regular in my Twitch chat and the Twitch chat of others.
Oh yeah, I'm in like almost all maybe 5 at a time or 2 at a time Twitch chats.
Twitch chats are lousy with MiloArty. Zelly Beans.
There I am down at the bottom, like holding up the tree.
It's like a mushroom now or tree.
Yeah. Mushroom tip. Yeah, I think the Impies really highlights what's really the best thing about Dreams, which is the community. And, that's going to be very exciting. I hope we have the same kind of gatherings this year as we did last year. But what I do like about Dreams, it opened up a world that would otherwise just be a lot harder to get into, like especially during this whole pandemic thing. Like when you've been working in front of a screen all day and you're feeling brain fogged because of like all this, like sitting down to try to make something in Unity is just very difficult. Or even like I wanted to learn music, and like all those tools out there are just very intimidating. But Dreams, I can just sort of hop on, like I can be on my controller, like I could be walking around the room holding it, pressing random buttons, and like a song comes out somehow, like it's great. It removes so many barriers. Like I love it.
We love Dreams.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks for thinking of me.
Thanks for being here, Zelly Beans. You can also find Zelly Beans on Twitch. Yeah. Streaming
Remember,
Dreams.
It's Zelly Beans with a Z at the end. People always do the S. And that's actually another streamer who doesn't play Dreams.
Oh, no.
But I think we should recruit them just to make things confusing.
Stay away from Zelly Beans with an S.
Yeah,
or go recruit
don't trust them. They don't play Dreams. So.
But don't tell them about all the penises. We'll scare them away. What?
Maybe.
Sorry. I guess I just had to say penis 2 more times.
What if they, could be the other way around. They'd be like, they were assuming that, like, oh, Dreams, very dry, very British, they don't...
I'm sure I won't find a single penis. Well, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. The S is for Stinky Zelly Beans, says Andy Mation B. Yeah, that's the stinky one.
That's right.
Well, I really, really appreciate all of you coming and spending your time and sharing your thoughts. And that was a really pleasant, thoughtful discussion. I know, yeah. Like I said earlier, I mean, even a salty talk in the Dreams community tends to be not too sharp. Tends to be pretty friendly and productive. And I think I really enjoyed both discussing like how we felt about the nomination process this year, to the fun we've had, to the future plans and all of that. It's been a blast, and I'm gonna let this. I'm gonna let this. Let these beautiful people go now, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, go. I don't know, subscribe to me on YouTube if you want. Like that would be. You want to do one nice thing for me this week? Well, put a penis in Dreams. Put your penis, a penis, any penis in Dreams. That would be one thing. Number 2, toss me a subscription on YouTube. The last couple episodes I'll actually release those really soon. Let's not get into it, but. And on that note, until next time, everybody, keep dreaming.
Look at you go, you listen to an entire podcast.
Keep dreaming.
You said it. You said the name of the stream.
We're all talking over the ending. I like that. We should talk over the ending.
Nice.
Where's everyone's heads this time, Keld? You made a precedent.
Oh, no.
You set a precedent. You've got to hold to it.